All right, in this video, I'm going to go over some basics about functions and what inverses look like graphically. So, kind of an old idea that you might have seen in a previous algebra class. When you look at a graph, by looking at it, you should be able to determine if it is actually a function. So, I have two graphs here, one of in red that's parabola, the other one's a circle. So if you want to look at the graph and determine is it a function or not, the easiest way to do it is something we call the vertical line test. And what that means is if you set your pencil, pen, or whatever on your graph and you could slide it, remaining at a vertical line, notice how my pen intersects the graph, but it only intersects it once. If it always only intersects it most one time, so it cannot intersect more than once, then it is a function. So if we look at this graph, I never intersect it more than once. I only touch it once. Because I only intersect once, that would mean that this graph is a function. And what that means is for every x value, well, not for every x value, for your x values, you get exactly one y value. That's what makes it a function. So another example would be this circle over here. And if I do the vertical line test as I slide left or right, you notice I start intersecting twice. For example, if I made a vertical line here, intersect here and here. We can't have that happen. And what that means is it is not a function. And what's happening there is for whatever this x value is here, I'm getting two y values. I get a y value up here and a y value down there. So the vertical line test will always tell you whether something is a function. So that is a basic with functions, looking at is something a function or not. Down here, I'm going to look at, well, what does an inverse look like graphically? So here's how it works. Whenever you think about an inverse of something, what we think about is y equals x. So your y values are now x's, your x's are now y's. Another way to see that is the line y equals x, is this diagonal line right through the origin. So it's a perfectly diagonal line. So if my original function here is in blue, and I want to take the inverse of it, here's y equals x, that dotted line. What you do is you're going to take this and reflect it over this line. So I'm going to try and draw it in red. It's pretty hard. So instead of this piece being down here, it's going to be over here. So we're going to come and we're going to cross, cross, and cross. So in that red line there, that would be my inverse. The important thing is when you have an inverse, you get that y equals x line. And what we do is you just reflect over that piece. So anything on bottom is now over here. Anything up here is now down there, vice versa. Everything crosses over that line. It's kind of hard to do graphically. Sometimes you might just have to take one piece at a time. So you could take this piece, put it there, this piece, put it here, that piece, put it there, that piece, put it there. So that is looking at an inverse graphically.